Present.
Mike.
Present.
Chuck.
Here.
John.
Here.
Kevin.
Here.
Pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Any motion for the consent agenda? Motion to a second.
Second.
All in favor?
All.
Aye.
Opposed? Public input, this is time and place for discussion. Place for discussion items not already on the agenda with a time limit of 3 minutes each. Come on up.
This is just a question about the Washington Street rail crossing. Has there been any movement or action about making that a silent crossing? I know, Kevin, you ran on that, and I kind of voted for you about that. I just wondered, is anything going on with that, or planning on it?
That was like 10 years ago we looked into that, and there is quite an expense. Plus, getting farm equipment through there with the barrier in between the two lanes is a problem. So between the expense and farm equipment,
Not going to happen.
What do you mean for like? It's like a median.
Like Springville Road.
Yeah, North Vernon, they made that a silent crossing. They don't blow the horn there.
But that median would prevent.
Yeah, it has to be some kind of barrier so nobody tries to go around the crossing guards.
Exactly.
But I know Kevin was planning on working on that, right?
Yeah, and I found out that
Not
they,
doing?
they already had looked into doing that years ago, and that cement median thing, barrier thing, was kind of a deal breaker for implements, because they can't get through.
Does it have to be a cement barrier? Can it just be any kind of barrier that a car can't?
I don't know what the rules are now, but yeah, if there was something that would just fold over, but I don't know, might not allow that, because cars could just drive over too if they wanted to drive around the barrier, so. I haven't looked into it for a long time.
And I think when the city looked into that originally, it was going to be the city's expense, correct?
Oh, yeah.
You know, the county wasn't going to pay for it, the railroad wasn't going to pay for it, so I think it was, because I didn't realize that. I guess I assumed the railroad was going to pay for that, but
Yeah, I don't know. Guy Booth might be a good resource for that. You guys are still looking to look into it. You know who Guy Booth is?
Yeah.
yeah, just.
So, okay, I just got a quick, question. Why would you want one?
Why what?
Why would you want one?
Why would you?
Yeah.
To lessen the noise.
Where do you live?
I live on Market Street.
We're here?
West Market, right across from the park.
Huh?
Right across, we still from the nature park.
Well, I live close to the tracks, and I'll be honest with you, it doesn't bother me. And you know what, here's the deal, we got a sports complex that's going up, and we also got kids that live in the trailer court.
Okay, I mean, if there's no plan to do anything, that's all I'm asking.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, I didn't.
Well, I think it bothered Kevin, otherwise he wouldn't have campaigned on that.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's a horrible idea. I mean,
Well, he's the one asking the question,
Yeah.
why we would want that, for noise.
know that I didn't realize the city had already looked into it years ago, and they kind of decided that it
No, I
was
didn't.
pretty expensive, and the city would have to foot the bill for it.
It took us a long time to get away with this. You want to go that road? I mean, so if you can do it, then you can do it, but I don't think I have to do it either.
Well, the crossing arms and stuff still come back.
All right, miscellaneous, discussion of possible action on approving naming rights to Sports Complex Pavilion. Check presentation.
So this was on the agenda, I think it's a month or so ago. Thad Nevitt is here. The passing of his father, former Mayor Steve Golden, they wanted to donate pretty pretty good amount of money to the pavilion that was built at the soccer field. As you all recall, we entered the agreement with Sportsman Solutions for fundraising. And so two things we wanted to make sure of, that we were consistent with the naming of property and fields and such, since it's all in the same place, even though it's separate. And then also that all this money would stay in-house with Park and Rec, and they wouldn't get a portion of that since it was a donation. So we found that out, and that's to be true. We get to keep all that money, so that was important to them as well as it was to us. And then also, they wanted to go with the last names of the family to be consistent with the naming of the items out there. So, Drayton, you want to take over?
Yeah, I've been working with Thad for quite a while on this, and I put it in front of my board, and the vote passed, so we're good to accept it. If you guys are good with it, it's going to be the Golden Pavilion. I don't think, unless you guys have anything else.
That's the one that's up right now.
I was going to add a couple things.
Is that
Maybe
the one
one,
that's up, hold on.
Yes.
The one that's up right now, right?
Correct, yep, on the south side.
Go ahead.
I think they already outlined it well, and I think I've met everybody here. My name is Thad Nevitt, and this is my lovely wife Jane here joining me. Just one thing though I would like to emphasize too is I'm here, but I'm also representing all my siblings too. We'd like to honor our dad Steve Golden, who was the mayor from '88 to '93. I think many of you probably know him, but not everybody. And he really loved this town, and become mayor for a while, which, and as you guys know, to serve on the council, that's a pretty big commitment. So he wasn't born here. We moved here about 1980, but he considered this his hometown. No question about it. He loved Lisbon. He loved the people in Lisbon, and we think that this would be an absolutely fantastic way, my siblings and I, way to honor him and also contribute to the community too. So hopefully you'll see it look out favorably. So thank you.
So the naming would be what?
It's going to be Golden Pavilion.
We had originally requested Steve Golden Pavilion, but I think I understand that we want some consistency too, because this probably isn't the last thing that will be named. So we wanted to name it Golden Pavilion, and is what it would be named.
Maybe I'm looking at it differently, but I see the Golden Pavilion like the Black Pavilion. You know, I mean, I would think you'd want the whole name.
Well, we would prefer the whole name, to be honest with you.
Does the park board have a problem with that?
Well, the only thing was we talked with Sportsman Solutions, who Brandon just mentioned is the company that we worked with, and what they're going to do is they're going to use business names and last names of family donors, and we wanted to keep it uniform throughout the whole complex. I'm not saying we can't do that, but that's kind of why I had called Dad, had a phone call with him, and asked him if he was okay with Golden Pavilion, just to try and keep it uniform throughout the whole complex.
Well, let me ask you, could we have the Wilson baseball diamond?
We very well could. That's the thing, is we don't know what we're going to get. I'm assuming there's going to be some private family donors, there's going to be some business donors, there's going to be all kinds of donors. So that was
a donation. You could wait. No, I think it's a great idea. I really do. I mean,
I think it is. I'm just questioning whether you want it, the whole name or the...
Well, again, Mike, to your point, the family would prefer Steve Golden Pavilion because it's easier maybe to remember specifically who it's about. However, we also understand that there's some conventions people want too, so we're willing to go either way, but our first preference is so everybody knows what Steve Golden Pavilion is. So.
and I know also Parks and Rec is working to get other sponsors, major sponsors. And I mean, I don't, if I would me and my family would donate $10,000, would we want it to call our Burl Field? No, you'd want it to O'Connor Field. I mean, you wanted that last name.
I think it's great what the family's doing. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Anything?
Make a motion that we name the pavilion that's up. Golden Pavilion.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
You want to do a check presentation? Sure. Team, you get your picture taken if you want.
I'm sure you don't want to be that too bad.
I'm fine, I have my picture taken.
Who's that? Who went for done?
Come on, Jane, get up.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jane.
Public hearing for fiscal year 25 budget amendment number 1. Need motion to go in public hearing?
So moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing, 7:09.
All right, so this is the first one, probably of two, I imagine. I think that's what we had last year. Revenues coming in for this are $660,000 for Lynn County for the well project. $50,000 transfer from to roads. That's to help pay for some of the Highway 30. Expenditures, the Highway 30 resurfacing, 1.15. 5,000 in tree maintenance, and this is for the Main Street trees. And then 25,000 for the Sports Complex, the turf maintenance that we approved with Craft Cut. And then the 50,000 just shows a transfer out. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Any motion to go to public hearing?
Just so everybody knows, we didn't have bids and such when we did this budget, so that's why these amounts weren't in there, because we didn't know what they were going to be. So,
Motion to a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution 25, 2024, approving fiscal year budget amendment number 1.
Motion to approve resolution 25-2024.
Motion to a second.
Second.
Nate?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Rick? John?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Resolution 26, 2024, approving Plat,
Holiga.
Holiga.
So we've already approved this. This went before P&Z before. However, it came back now with a resolution versus the approval of site plan for the first edition. If you guys recall, this is at Lynn Ridge and Highway 1, but it's in the 2-mile buffer zone. So we just need to do a formal approval of the resolution so they have it.
Move to approve.
Motion to approve, a second.
Second.
Kevin?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Rick? Mike?
Aye.
Nate?
Aye.
Resolution 27, 2024, approving plat survey number 2869, reference lot 53, Novak Estate, 5th edition.
So this is the last duplex that was built, and I talked to Dave about it because it was the only lot that wasn't parceled out in A and B. And Dave advised that they always did this at the end of the build to show the line exactly on the wall that splits the duplex. So that's been complete. He didn't have any issues with it, so we make a recommendation that you approve.
Motion?
Move to approve.
Motion to a second.
Second.
Nate?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Rick? John?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Correspondence?
Two things tonight. The first one, we have this email from Christina in reference to the Run for Pi 5K, which is on September 21st. We'll make sure that we have adequate traffic devices out for that. I believe there are a couple rentals that day at the park, so just wanted to make you all aware of that. And then also you'll see attached is the Highway 30 or Business 30 resurfacing, and there's a timeline in that. You can kind of see starting September 3rd. They have the 2nd here, but that's Labor Day, so they're going to start the 3rd and hopes of ending October 10th.
So is this overlay from our city limits to
This will go from approximately Dollar General all the way to the roundabout. And the only areas that will be closed will be from First Street East in Mount Vernon up to the roundabout when they work in that area because of, they don't have anywhere in the roundabout that they can hold traffic, so. All our stretch will be open the entire way, to include paving. So. This also includes the 4-foot shoulder on the edge.
And when starts the second or third of?
Third.
October? And when's it done?
October 10th, they're saying.
Long time coming.
That is all I have.
City engineer report.
Brandon took care of the highway, the business 30 overlay for me, so looking at punch list items on the water main project, contractors have been out working on those. We provided some additional information today on some things that we need to take care of yet, so they'll keep working on that, but a lot of them are just small adjustments, filling in areas that have settled a little bit, fixing some areas behind the curb, those sort of things. So keep putting pressure on them to get that done. Hopefully get that project wrapped up here shortly and closed out and get that behind us. And we've got some other things we'll discuss here later.
What do you think, Dave? Full report.
We pushed the water main between Jefferson and Penn down to the spring due to the Highway 30 project and the construction at school. Didn't think it was a very good idea to tear up another main street in town this fall, so we'll start on that in the spring. Eric from B&K got our permit pushed back for another year, so we're good with that. Splash pad will be closing on Sunday night for the year. We normally close it at this holiday anyways. We talked with Lynn County, we don't have to test if we open it Sunday, but if we go into multiple days for the month, then we'd have to test. So we got rentals on Sunday, so that's why we're pushing into the 1st instead of being at the end of this month. We're getting all the millings off this project are gonna get placed either around Bunning Field or in alleys, so we're gonna be beating feet to get that done too. And the last thing I have is I had a pump fail on Grand Avenue lift station, and we'll be probably either replacing that or fixing that. So you'll see that come up in the next council meeting.
Anything for Travis? Portion rec.
A couple things. We did the softball concession for the Sauerkraut Day slow pitch tournament. That was very successful. We had a baseball team in town, parents and kids help out. We're giving a little percentage back to them. So thanks to them for their help. And then Travis was down there all weekend as well, helping me out with that. Back to school night was a success. We served probably between 300 and 400 people. Had a lot of compliments. A lot of people turned up at the park, so that was awesome. The movie in the park over Sauerkraut Days did not end up happening due to weather on Wednesday night. We're looking to potentially do a fall movie at the park. If that doesn't work out, then we'll try and do something next summer. The good thing is we paid for the movie. It's good for a whole year after the date of cancellation, so we're not out anything. So that's good there. The only other things I have is the park's going to start getting busy again. Flag football and soccer, we had 179 kids between the two sports. We're supposed to start today. Obviously the heat, we weren't able to get out. We probably won't get out there tomorrow either, but come Wednesday and Thursday, you're going to see a lot of people in the park, so just be cautious of that. And then the next thing I'll start working on, other than mowing and all that good stuff, is Halloween Town. That'll be coming up at the end of October. And a big shout out to Thad for the donation, and remind me of your sister's name. I always forget. Christine. Thad, Christine, Jane, thanks to you guys a lot. It means a lot. You guys come in here and donate that money to the Parks Department for the complex out there. So thank you.
Welcome, yeah, thanks for making it happen. So.
That's all I have.
Anybody got things from Drayton? Library?
Nothing from her that I'm aware of.
Police Department?
Just a huge shout out to the Sauerkraut Days Committee. It was a great event. No issues from our end.
Very well ran from that perspective. And just a reminder that school's in session, so asking drivers to make sure they're watching for kids in crosswalks and school buses and those events.
Good. And
So finished up kind of the big festivals for the summer with sauerkraut days. Luckily not sauerkraut days related, but we did respond to 18 calls throughout the weekend with multiple occurrences of both units being out, so it was definitely a busy weekend for us. Kind of turning our focus on to football, so Friday nights and then Cornell Saturdays. And then you'll see our fundraising kick off in September with the Gary's Roundup and then our annual letter. So other than that, we're at 564 call-outs for the year, and I'm sure we'll continue to stay busy, so.
I'd be interested in hearing first year's call-outs.
Our first year?
Yeah.
I have that
their first
information.
year, like when you were first year?
Well, no, I'm not asking my first year.
So our first year was a half year because we started in July, and I think it was 86. I think we did 86 runs. I'd have to go back in the records, but.
Was involved in it at that time, and there was a lot of initial reaction of we don't need an ambulance. And what was last year's calls? 800?
992. Yeah. So it's definitely a needed resource or an asset in the community, and we're proud to be here and happy that our volunteers are as active as they are. So.
Any questions? Fire Chief.
We also participated in sauerkraut days. They did the bathtub races again. 5,000 balloons, and they sold out before the end of the race. And there's $1,900 profit off that, so a pretty good event. And thank you for everybody who came out. And then pancake breakfast is Labor Day, which is the 2nd. Brothers is doing a roundup for that as well to help offset some of the costs for the food. So welcome anybody to come. Much appreciated. That's it.
Anything for Fire Chief? City Administrator.
Last week we had a P&Z to wrap up some of these items that we already discussed earlier in the meeting. Tomorrow I'm assisting PD and the City of Mount Vernon admin staff doing PD officer interviews. In September I'll be attending the trainer for TIM training, which is traffic incident management. We're required to have all public works and emergency staff trained at that level. It's hard for them to get out here and get everybody all together, so they're going to train the trainer, so I'm going to attend that. Then working ahead on the Myers Farmstead as recommended by council. I had a Highway 30 pre-con meeting in Mount Vernon last week, and that's the details that we provided tonight. And then I also want to say thanks to the Sauerkraut Day staff. It's my understanding it's probably record numbers this year. And thanks to the city staff who put in a lot of time helping out whenever they need. I know there's a couple things. There's one day it was windy and they needed help with the stage. And so takes everybody. Thanks to all that volunteered to do that. That's all I have.
Any questions for Brandon? Christina, anything?
I am just working on reports and waiting for the tent and urban renewal to open up hopefully here this week. And then you guys should hopefully see that next month on the agenda.
Christina. Nate.
Just reiterated a thank you to the Sauerkraut Days Committee for a great event. My daughter and fiance came into town and had a great time. It's bathtub races. Thank you to Thad and Jane and your sister for the donation. Very cool.
Five.
You got two.
I heard 363, but okay. Thank you for your
I was going to point that out there.
And then, yeah, thank you to all the public safety, law enforcement for helping out with Sauerkraut Days. It was a good time. So that's it. Thank you.
Mike.
I really don't have anything that hasn't been said or will not be said, but other than Lisbon's a busy place. Starting to look around it, it's not a sleepy little town. And really helps out at the new part. So appreciate it.
Rick?
No.
John?
Thanks to everybody involved with Sauerkraut Days for a great celebration. Thank you to Brothers for their roundup. We took in over $1,000 on that for Sauerkraut Days. Thanks to the Golden family for their very generous donation. And the Friends of the Lisbon Library have about 185 kids signed up now between Mount Vernon and Lisbon, and signing up more, especially in Mount Vernon, now that we've taken that on. And we'll be having a roundup at Brothers for the Friends of the Library in November. That's all I have.
Okay. Alright. Everybody already had, but I would like to thank the Golden family. The other three are Mike, Josh, and Katie. And I'd like to also thank the city staff for the work they did at Sauerkraut Days. I had 3 members of the committee say how much they appreciate you guys, so I really appreciate that. Sauerkraut Days, I think, was a success. I know it was for me. I did 700 sandwiches, and I was done at 6 o'clock on Saturday. Doug already pointed out school started, so lunch for kids. And splash pad closing. Drake closes the splash pad every night. He's got a week left of it. Is there anything we need to maybe work on that where he ain't doing it every night for the year?
Well, we have, I think some public works staff help out, and we also have the summer kids that are trained.
I mean, we got 8 months before that, but I want to visit that. Is there anything else? All right. Possible closed session pursuant to Iowa Code Chapter 21.5J to discuss possible purchase, sale of real property. Do I have a motion to go into closed session?
So moved.
A motion, second.
Second.
In favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And we'll go into closed session